On how I installed the Rexing dash cam. As you can see, I've got it attached to the window there with the tape they included. And then on my Ford 2016 F350, I was able to just bring it up and bring it into the headliner here and run it. It's just very simple just to pull this down a little bit and then run the power cable in there. That runs over to the side, and then fortunately there's this little gap right here that also pulls down, and then I put the cable there. I used a coin to push it down in there so it was no sharp objects on it. It was easily to get it snug in there. And then this little rubber gasket. It's really a nice gasket to push the cable back behind. So just follow that all the way down. And then at the bottom, it was a nice install here. So what I did was pull this rubber gasket back again. I had two hands at the time, but I pulled the hood release back, and then the power cord actually was able to go right between that. So the power cord, it's a little cigarette lighter one for now. And then I was able to sneak that power cord in between that little opening there. So that at the very end, what happens is the cable comes out at the very back end, and then it's not interfering with my release here or the emergency brake. And then the next tricky part is getting the upfitter switches for the F350. Those are very difficult to find. You have to get on your back, put your head way down here, and then you have to look up in here. You got to search around for a long time until you finally find them. They're kind of buried up in there, but there's 4 of them. And here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4. They came bundled around another cable of wires, so I had to remove that little sticker. And then that sticker is right here. So then that tells me which cable does what. So obviously the yellow is auxiliary 1, green, brown, auxiliary 2, and so forth. And then those line up with the actual switches over here. So I used my power meter, and I was able to test the yellow, because that's what I'm going to use for this, the yellow guy right here. I punctured into him with my test cable, and he's reporting out at 12 volts, which is fantastic. Install, I thought I'd show you the device I'm going to use to provide power to the dash cam. Ordered this on Amazon. I'll put a link in the bottom, but it's model number GC018. What it is just basically you're adding an additional power source, a cigarette lighter power. Comes with a 15 amp fuse, so that it's going to protect the dash cam in case anything should go wrong. I get a spike in power. And then it's just a simple connection here. Red, power, black, ground. So I'm going to jump forward to the next part of the video and actually show you this installed. So I don't want to bore you with the actual hooking up of the cables, but I just wanted to show you how it comes and how I'm going to supply the power. Because the dash cam itself needs 5 volts of power, not 12. You could hardwire this with a step-down transformer, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted to keep the cable intact in case I ever wanted to move it from one car to the other. I'm not stuck with having it hardwired in. I last showed you the connector I was going to use to provide the 12-volt power. So now you see the actual connector here from the dash cam. The 12-volt power is snuck in behind there. It's all wired in fairly nicely. Just need to put my retainer back in there. And then so now what should happen when I click on the auxiliary switch, the 15 amp version, what's going to happen is we're going to see power come to the dash cam. And just like that, we have power, remote power. So now when I turn the key off, I no longer have to worry about the power being drained or the unit staying on and being noticed.